Welcome to Whistleblower Network News. I am your host, Jane Turner, FBI whistleblower and advocate. It is our honor to share with you these experiences of real life heroes and people of integrity. Welcome. This is Jane Turner, host of Whistleblower of the Week, and today, it's really a sad occasion. I have on Poornima Ramarao. And of course, she is the mother of Suchir Balaji. He was the AI whistleblower who they found deceased, 26 years old. And it's a very puzzling case. He was born on November 21st, 1998, into an Indian American family and raised in Cupertino, California. This man was a prodigy. And welcome, Poornima. Thank you so much. I know this is difficult every time you have to talk about this, but welcome and thank you for sharing with us. Tell us about your son, who was a prodigy.
Thank you for having me here. I'd love to share about my son. Suchir was a genius. Like he picked up alphabets at 13 months and he read letters, words at 1.5 years. He was very kind. 18 months old, knew to respond to tears. He was very kind.
And I understand he started coding with Scratch at age 11. I mean, amazing. But you know something about computers, don't you?
Yes, I'm a software engineer, and even my husband, he went for school when Suchir was born. So the little one always saw parents talking about programming, and when I was teaching his dad programming, little one used to bring his alphabet book, teach me. And like 2-year-old could read all Java, Unix, all that, and take us to bookstore to Java section because he knew we will go there. So he had
Wow.
the environment.
And he attended Monte Vista High School and was a finalist at the United States of America Computing Olympiad. So this guy was a prodigy. He also won $100,000 in a TSA sponsored competition for improving passenger screening algorithms. I mean, he was exceptional.
He was.
Yes, he was. And then he graduated from the University of California, Berkeley, with a Bachelor of Arts degree in computer science, which is not easy. And then tell us about his career. I mean, obviously, he was a wonderful, loving son.
Yes, Suchir actually was a national champion of US Computing Olympiad in 2016. Right after high school, he took up job in Quora as software engineer. He took a gap year. And he would tell us, I don't need a degree. And he was self-taught. He was self-taught and he answered the interviews better than the master degree holders at Quora and he worked there. Somehow we persuaded him to pick up his degree again and he graduated from UC Berkeley. While he was at UC Berkeley, he represented UC Berkeley for international contests and he traveled to China. And then, like, he also won the TSA contest, as you mentioned. He was working under the university professor for undergrad research and he did his internship in OpenAI, Scale.ai, and Helia.ai, all the three AI companies. Unfortunately, he chose OpenAI in 2020. He started working there as a researcher. Right after
And
his graduation,
oh, I'm sorry, I was going to ask, why did he pick OpenAI?
he chose it because it was open source at that point of time and he was more interested in research. He was very reluctant to go into PhD, which is a long route.
Oh,
The reason he went into OpenAI research is because if he went into PhD, lot of them are theoretical research projects. They won't be used in the industry. That was his opinion.
ah. And he was involved at OpenAI in gathering and organizing the internet data used to train GPT 4, a language model uh, used by the company's online chatbot. So that was cutting edge work, wasn't it?
It was like 6 months after he graduated, he had published a paper. Right after his graduation, he was leading a new research on WebGPT that turned into ChatGPT project. Then Suchir was involved in feeding the data until 2022 end. OpenAI was not making profit. It was non-profit. So there was no question or concern that raised in his mind. Once they started selling for profit, even then he was proud that companies making revenues and all. Then it started striking to him that this data is being stolen, and that's when he started to raise concerns. Yet to discover whether he gathered other employees in the company to raise voice or he just quit. I don't know yet.
Ah, but he planned on uh, opening a nonprofit center on machine learning and neurosciences, which
Yes.
is pretty impressive.
He was actually trying to bring something parallel to AGI, artificial general intelligence. And he mentioned to me, Mom, my company would be in indirect competition to OpenAI. I told him, please be careful. They won't let you flourish because these are major corporations, right? And even
Right.
about his interview in New York Times, I was very concerned at the very moment when he went to New York Times for an interview. Why would you have to give your photo? Why would you have to give your name? And why would you go alone to fight? Like you should be going as a part of the group. What you need is a regulation in the government. That's where you should be walking towards, was my suggestion. But in that age, right? Like they think they know
Oh, yeah.
everything and the right thing.
Young and immortal, right? Yeah, young and immortal. He was quoted as saying, if you believe what I believe, you have to just leave the company,
Exactly. That's the
which
voice.
is pretty impressive. That's known as integrity.
Sam Altman called out that Suchi's not only his incredible contributions, he also mentioned he knows Suchir for kindness, exceptional kindness, and integrity.
And so let's go into that in terms of what he felt was going on. He said that Chat GPT and similar chatbots are ruining the commercial viability of the individuals and organizations who produce the data that the AL systems are trained on. Now, there was at this time music people, other
Yeah,
people who had a real problem with this AI because it was using their material, correct?
they steal their material, they don't compensate them. And also, what comes out of ChatGPT is not exactly identical to the input. If you read my son's article on Suchir.net, his publication, he proves mathematically he took 2 months to do the research and publish that paper. He explains in a way that everyone can understand. His concerns are very valid.
We'll make sure that that's attached at the end of this podcast. We'll make sure his paper is attached. So then he went, of course, to the New York Times, and they did summarize his essay, When Does Generative AL Qualify for Fair Use? Which I understand was really exceptional. And they he had published that on his personal website earlier. And he came up with a 4-factor test for determining fair use under US copyright law.
Yeah.
This was an incredibly intelligent man.
Yes.
Yeah.
He left behind the evidence, he's left behind a publication, he started a movement. It's a big kind of like he started something towards the welfare of mankind. Not only the violation of copyright led to the loss of income for the artists and the other community. It's not only that, but his concerns were against AGI as well, artificial general intelligence, and AI safety concerns as well. AI safety experts are leaving OpenAI one by one, one by one, one by one. Why are they walking away?
Why do you suppose they're walking away? And he felt that this whole argument could be applied to other generative artificial intelligence products as well. It wasn't just this one.
Yeah, it's the entire AI industry. Almost every company is doing that. So he kind of became a threat to this OpenAI.
Right. Right. He voiced his disapproval of it, the reasons why, and came up with this four-factor test for determining fair use. So, and let's not forget, at this time, OpenAI was being sued for copyright infringement by prominent authors and news publisher, including the New York Times, which ran his article.
Yeah.
So everybody knew there was a problem going on here.
This lawsuit would have costed OpenAI billions of dollars as fine, as well as they had to delete their entire data set and start from scratch. That would have been very, very difficult for them. So, what was easy is to eliminate the evidence, the witness. How cruel can this be?
I agree with you. I mean, at that time, OpenAI was being sued, and in November 18th, 2024, which isn't that long ago, he was identified by the New York Times attorneys as one of a number of people who might have relevant documents in the copyright case against OpenAI. And he said he would testify against the AL company. Do you think that that put a target on his back?
Yes, because what is custodian evidence witness is they present the document to New York Times. New York Times attorneys verify that is valid. They share that to OpenAI. November 18th, this was done. November 22nd, he was killed.
Can you
He
tell
didn't,
me? Oh, I'm sorry.
they didn't give him more time. Since he was in LA, probably he had 3 more days in his life.
What did OpenAI argue against what he said? I mean, what could their defense be?
They have issued a statement in the court and they have gone to lower court to dismiss the case. There's a whole set of information shared there and they have their own argument, and Microsoft and OpenAI now they're winning the battle, they believe, because they are in an agreement with the government for a $500 billion Stargate project. How shameful this can be. In a country where they kill someone to get a deal and they thrive.
I tell you that that's amazing. And I know there's a lot of money in AI.
Yes.
A
$100 billion
a
or even a
hundred.
$1 trillion industry.
Wow. So how long, tell me again, was it after he appeared in the New York Times that his death occurred?
Not immediately. He actually was planning to interview in Associated Press also, and he spoke to another Canadian news agency. His death was triggered more by being a custodian witness. A month
Yes.
after the interview, he was found dead.
Tell us about that. I know it's painful, but that you last heard from your son on November 22nd, 2024. Not that long ago, is it? Not really. And he stopped responding to your text messages. What happened next?
Love 22nd, he spoke to dad at 7:15. He told dad like he told like who he went to vacation and all that. Then like dad gave the birthday gift, invited him to come to CES. Great conversations. He said he's going to get dinner. He got dinner at 7:30, went back into his apartment. He hasn't even finished the dinner. His dinner is spilled on the floor. And there is fresh supply of his shaving cream and all those daily necessities. He's just done the laundry. Laundry is lying on his bed, right? All this happened and he stopped responding after 22nd. We see in his browser at 10 o'clock was the last time he's browsed. We expect something happened around that time on 22nd. 23rd, I usually I call him on Saturdays. 11 that day I was an hour late. 12:15 I called and the phone rang once and it went to voicemail. I know my son used to be very busy during the weekends. He does a lot of active work like walking, many other things. He does bicycling, motorcycle ride, he does hiking, like rock climbing, a lot of activities. So, okay. Sunday morning again I texted him. I might have texted 10 times. I might have called at least 5 times. By Sunday evening, I started to grow anxious. Then I recollected same thing happened once in New York in 2021. He'd lost his cell phone.
Oh.
So, you always want to hope for the best, and like he's
Mhm.
very picky about his privacy and all. So, Monday, I went and knocked on his door around 11 a.m.
Oh.
He didn't open. Even then, I was not thinking he's in danger. That's my thing. Like I thought he's in
Mhm.
working space. But came home, my gut feeling said something is wrong. I called the police, asked them to go check on them. That's where their inefficiency started. Leasing office was right there. They could have gone in and checked with the keys from the leasing office. They didn't. They didn't even call me to tell they went and checked. No one opened the door. Somebody else, the security of the apartment, he told us later that day he saw that there was a fire truck and there was fire engine and there was police van. They went and checked on this apartment. Next day, I did not want to wait any longer. I went to Union City where I live and I filed a missing person complaint. They said immediately dispatch should call you. It's an hour. Dispatch didn't call me. I just called a dispatch on my own and they said, if you come here, we will go inside the apartment. I went there. It took me an hour. I took Uber because my car tire pressure indicated low. I was concerned. I took Uber because something was wrong. By then, already I was concerned. 1 o'clock, I went there. 1:09, two law enforcement agents came. They went into the apartment along with the leasing manager with the keys. They came back in 10 minutes. They reported they found a body at 1:13, but they didn't tell me. We haven't been able to go inside. They're lying to me. They said, we have security protocols. We can't enter the building, enter the apartment. We're waiting for two more officers. Then two officers came. They went inside. 10-15 minutes. They came back. I'm sitting outside there. It's about 2 or something like that. It's been an hour then. They said, we can't go inside. Have you seen how is my son doing? No answer. Is my son safe? No answer. And then they said, Ma'am, you go home. We'll get back to you in 4 or 5 hours. It was very bad treatment. I think it was discrimination. And I said, okay, I'm not going anywhere. Who are you waiting for? Can you please give me their phone number? Let me follow up with them. They said they're
Oh,
waiting for two more officers. It will take
okay.
2 hours for them to come. I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm sitting here and waiting. Around 3:20, I saw a van coming in outside the apartment building. A white long van. That was when I was very worried because it's not an ambulance, right? Then also I gave benefit of doubt. I ran maybe 100 feet or something to the van. A stretcher came out that didn't look like an ambulance stretcher. I didn't know my son is no more. I asked them, what is this stretcher for? We have a dead person in the apartment.
That's what they told you?
And they didn't know I'm the mother of the dead person. This is medical examiners. And you know how long it took for them? It was 3:20. By 4 o'clock, they've already decided. Usually they take 3 hours to determine the cause of death. They come to me and they tell me your son committed suicide. They did not inquire what was his emotional state. Was he happy? Was he depressed? Was not inquired. They did not look into lack of suicide note. They did not look at the wounds in his body. They did not look at, yes, there were wounds in his body. And they did not look at the gunshot. It was here and the angle was downward. They did not look at it. There were plenty of evidences of homicide in the apartment. They left behind the evidences. They just picked the body, the gun, and a shell casing, and a hand, the kit for his hand, and a GSR kit. Those were the only evidences they collected.
So you were pointing to the center of your head,
Yep,
your
yep.
forehead, and it was angled downward, which
Downwards.
which is not typical for a suicide.
That
Uh,
itself would have been enough for them to investigate. But they
right.
made a determination. Next day, they did not even test his GSR, his hand for GSR, just removed the bullet, started the toxicology test, did a CT scan, released the body. You know what they did? 4 o'clock, when they told me he's no more, they told me you can't see his body because his face is all gone. It's very scary. They lied to
Oh.
us. They lied to us.
Oh.
Then, yeah, when we got the body, next day we wanted to go see our son,
Hmm.
right? They
Right.
instructed the funeral home to not allow us to see the body. Why? Because parents can see their son's wounds, right?
Right. Did you get to see the body?
We were completely shattered. We were
Oh.
completely
Oh yeah, shattered.
when they scare you so much, right? We felt okay, we've seen our happy son's face and we don't want to see that kind of disfigured face we felt. But later we got the autopsy pictures.
Oh.
When we saw the autopsy pictures, we saw his face. It wasn't disfigured the way they said. So we know they have played a bloody prank on us.
Well,
Can you
why would
believe
they
it?
say that?
Because if parents see the body, they can find out there is wound in the body, there is trust. They lied to us. There was no sign of struggle. Apartment is intact. Both are false. Both are completely false. There was sign of struggle on his body. His jeans is ripped, and his earbuds he was wearing have gone in two different directions. One of them was in the blood. One of them had the blood on it. There
His
were
earbuds.
strands of hair around the earbud, and there are different corners in the bathroom where there are blood. The very corner of the door, and little bit of this much, maybe half a feet or something, there's blood going upward. Why would all of those be? So there were evidence of homicide, evidence of suicide cover up. They chose to cover up, and they lied to us, not even to see the face. I really want people to know how gruesome this has been. And despite of it, now they're denying us even the police report.
Why are they denying you the police report?
They're not
What
even
reason
giving
are
us.
they giving?
I'll tell you why.
Yeah,
Sam
tell me.
Altman, CEO of OpenAI, he was on the transition team for the new mayor. New mayor is Sam Altman's friend.
Oh. May I ask, did you have the body cremated or is your son buried?
We did this private autopsy. We did
Gotcha.
a private autopsy, and then we did the cremation. So we got enough information from the body that what we needed,
Oh,
have
good.
enough evidence.
So you knew right away things did not add up.
Moment they told the news to me, I contradicted the medical examiner. I told them my son is a whistleblower. He didn't want to pay attention. Immediately I told him, look, he just came back from vacation from with his friends. How can he commit suicide? They didn't listen. We knew next day. I'm calling police. I'm a grieving mother. I'm calling police, medical
Hmm.
examiner, coroner, homicide unit. And you know the worst thing? I believe they've instructed the leasing office to clean up the apartment, not let us go inside.
And you believe that's because the police have some kind of relationship with the AI there,
Yes,
with the
yes,
company?
yes, they have.
And and what is that relationship again?
CEO of the AI company, OpenAI, was leading the transition of the new San Francisco mayor.
Oh,
His mayor's friend.
he's the
He's
mayor's
lobbying.
friend.
He's lobbying. When more than lobbying, obviously he's leading the transformation of transition team of the San Francisco mayor. Obviously, that's a very high political power.
Very high. May I ask you, have the police closed the investigation or is it still open and active? Hi, we'll be right back with more of Whistleblower of the Week after a quick message from one of our whistleblower friends. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, this is Austin Handel, known on social media as Officer Ash, but also known as the Dunwoody Whistleblower, and the Vice Chair of the Lamplighter Project. The Whistleblower News Network strives to be the best source of information on important whistleblower stories. In addition to in depth interviews with whistleblowers, Whistleblower News Network provides timely coverage of breaking whistleblower news, detailed analysis of whistleblower legislation, court cases, and exclusive investigative reporting on government whistleblower programs. Subscribe to the Whistleblower News Network to stay up to date on all things whistleblowers.
That's a lie by police. In the end of December, we hired an attorney. Through our attorney, we wrote to Chief of Police, then Chief Medical Examiner, City Administrator, Executive Director of Medical Examiner that this is not a suicide. Look, this is the autopsy report. And he came back from vacation, talked to his friends, go talk to neighbors, like he was an evidence. Just check this lawsuit details. He was a witness. When we gave all that information, what police did was December 29th, they got all the autopsy pictures, they got all the pictures from the crime scene from the medical examiner. Our attorney called and said, Purnima, good news, it's a homicide. And then 30th December, he called and said, no, it's a suicide. And the angle of shot is very weird. That's about it. It's a suicide. How did they make the determination of suicide? By looking at the CCTV footage. How complete is it? There are three entrances to the building. Only one entrance has CCTV footage. They've looked at that one entrance. Nobody has gone in, nobody has come out around this incident, 22nd evening. So this is a suicide. How complete or how thorough is the investigation?
But he originally told you that it wasn't a suicide and then changed it? Well, that doesn't make much sense, does it?
It's obvious cover up, right? Next day, like the officers were, lobbied and they have been told to say what they have to tell, right? That's the investigation is more deep and thorough. This is not this incomplete. I told the same thing to our attorney. Next moment, when they said CCTV footage doesn't add up, I told our attorney, look, there are three entrances. He wasn't supporting us. We changed it to another attorney, and then through this attorney, we started all over again and they have bought up the crime scene investigators. We took the pictures, we sent it to another forensic expert in India. They tried to buy him off.
Did your son have a gun?
Yeah, he bought last year for safety.
Okay.
You know what? That was a time where my son was thinking and going for PhD as well. So
Mm-hmm.
something had happened. He was thinking of going for PhD. He bought a gun.
Yeah. And was that the same gun used that day?
Okay, let alone they use the gun, but a silencer has been used. No one has heard the sound. He did not have silencer with him. Where did the silencer come from?
But did they find a silencer in his apartment?
No, they haven't found a silencer.
But nobody heard
The sound.
anything. But the bullet came from his weapon.
We don't know. They have to verify it. Nobody has verified it came from his weapon. And we found there was one more bullet in the gun box. My son was reading a spiritual book, Bhagavad Gita. Next to that
Sure.
book, they placed the gun box, make it look like suicide. They've left behind, carelessly left behind a bullet in the gun box.
Not the same caliber as the gun?
We don't know.
Oh, you don't know. Did you
We
get
don't have the gun. We don't have the
the
bullet.
police have it, I assume. And what have they told you recently? Anything, or have they just told you it's closed and it's over?
We were told it's closed. Our second set of attorneys, attorney number two and attorney number three, both of them called homicide unit. Both of them spoke to Deputy Chief of Police Raj Vaswani. They were told it's closed. And then, okay, it's closed. Please give us a report. That's what I have been screaming from December 30th.
Right.
They didn't give the report. We wanted to have everything in writing. So we
Right.
applied. And we can share to the viewers here on the screen that we got a rejection. It was just denied. There's no reason given. They didn't even say our investigation is active and open. They have been telling the press investigation is active and open, which is a lie.
Why do you
OCA,
suppose they're telling the press it's open and they've told you it's closed? What why would they do that?
that's why we have a lawsuit against them today to be filed today. Let's
Okay,
ask them in the court.
very good. Tell me about the autopsy. Who got the autopsy?
He is a Dr. Cohen. He's a very senior and very talented medical examiner. He's a chief medical examiner in Navarro County. He did the autopsy. He's very qualified, very knowledgeable. I want to keep my comments reserved there. It'll come out. Everything will come out at the right time.
Okay, did you get a autopsy report?
Not complete report. He just put some bullet points. What he mentioned is atypical, abnormal, and worrisome. This points to homicide, right?
Atypical, abnormal, and worrisome. That's what he wrote.
Yeah,
And what was his final statement on it? How did he label it?
he did not. He was bought. Our attorney prevented us from telling anything. He's I would not want to tell anything against him because we need him for deposition.
Gotcha. And but allegedly, the postmortem forensic reports are supposed to be released within 90 days, correct?
Yeah, it's not at 90 days and they're holding on. We may need to get it from FBI. That's exactly why we need support from FBI because we don't have any ways of getting them, even what we really deserve. This violation of CPRA, California Private, you know,
Um, so they have not released the report.
no.
Have they told you why they have not released it?
They said reports are not finalized. That's what OCME said reports are not finalized.
So what do you think they're waiting for?
They're not waiting for anything. When I called OCME end of December, reports were already ready. They told me, send me an email, we'll send you. I did send an email within 30 minutes. Next day, I got an email that it's not ready. So it's a cover up. If the reports are ready, it's obvious it's a homicide, and then OpenAI will be not getting funds and all that, right? So to make OpenAI get funds and succeed, they're covering up my son's death.
Now, let me ask you just a couple of questions if I could. I was a profiler in the FBI before my retirement.
Okay.
And did your son have any mental health issues?
No, no, he actually had an active lifestyle. He was meeting friends throughout. He had a stable career and he had very good finances. He didn't have any heartbreak or any girlfriend or any such thing. He's so brave and courageous. What could be wrong? And even I was checking on him. Are your friends supportive of your whistleblower action? He said, yes, mom. And he had my 200% support. I
And
said,
what did
proud of me.
I'm sorry. And what did his friends say? Did they say that he was in good spirits? Because his
Yes,
birthday was that
21st,
week.
21st.
Right,
That was before he died.
right. And what did he do on his birthday? Was he with friends?
Yeah, he went out on November 16th to LA and then they did backpacking in Catalina Island. 21st, they had come back already. 20th, they did a hike. 21st, they were back. He called me on 21st from, I'm already in LA, he said. And that day, they were hanging out together. They went to a restaurant. We have the pictures. He cut cake. He blew the candle. He made a wish.
Do you know what that wish was?
I don't know.
What did his friends say from that time? Did they say he was in good spirits?
Yes, you can look at like Troy Wolverton. He's a San Francisco Examiner reporter. He spoke to all of them, and one of them said he spoke to 10 friends and he gathered the data. They say like everybody thinks this is a foul play. He cannot take his life. He was in a very good mood. He had stable career.
Right. And so did you try to get a hold of the FBI so they could do an autopsy protocol, which they can do very well?
We are still trying to get hold of FBI. They haven't responded to us. My husband and I, we made a complaint to an intake agent. That was 4 weeks ago. And we thought it's holiday time. They're going to come back. They're going to come back. We haven't heard from them. Yesterday, we tried to reach FBI through Ro Khanna. Today, I wrote to two of the California US senators, requested both of them to help. What we need at the moment is FBI intervention and a thorough investigation to look into
Right.
everything.
Right. They do wonderful autopsy protocols to kind of see, and they can look at the pictures.
That's
And
sufficient.
yeah, and they're very good. I used to do that, and it's a very good, for profiling. It's excellent. Um, there was a tuft of wig hair found in his apartment that doesn't belong to him. How did they explain that?
That's what we're asking the chief of police. I wrote to them the list of errors they made in the crime scene, what they have left behind. They did not answer that to me.
What
Where does it
other
come
things did?
from?
No, I'm sorry. What other things did you find besides a tuft of wig hair that he didn't wear a wig, right? No.
And those hairs don't look like they belong to him.
What other things did you find? I know there was blood evidence that didn't match up to a suicide.
Yes, and his dustbin was had fallen down. That shows sign of struggle in the bathroom. And there is blood on the doorknob,
Of the bathroom.
the bathroom door. There's blood in the corner, and we also found his earbud fallen in two different directions, which is understandable because probably of an assault. We see head injury left side of his head.
Oh,
Corresponding to that, there is blood on the sink. So it's that is like small drops of blood that doesn't come from a major wound, that comes from a smaller wound.
so where, if I may ask, I don't mean to be indelicate, but where was his body found?
We don't have the pictures yet. What I have been told was it was found outside the bathroom. He was lying on his back. That doesn't add up to the angle in which he's been shot.
Right. And the blood in the bathroom.
Yes.
Because he certainly, if he was shot in the head, wouldn't in the bathroom, wouldn't have made it out to the living room. So, or
He
if
would
he was
fall
shot,
down erratically. He won't be on his back,
no,
right? Our
right.
attorney knew that moment itself it's a homicide. When I described that, he knew it's a homicide. That's why they need police report to conclude it as a homicide. They wouldn't release the report to us because things will be evident, right? How long can they hold on? I think we need a
That's, yeah, I totally agree with you. So even Elon Musk came out and kind of questioned it. Isn't that true?
he did. He did. He's been supporting, and Tucker Carlson gave an interview, and that interview was watched by 32 million people. When we
S-
go out, people recognize and talk to us, and they give condolences.
And people have publicly called for an investigation. But are
Yes,
you just running up against a blank wall?
we are. We have been. Actually, Ro Khanna, who's a congressman for Bay Area, he's with us, and he wants a thorough, fair investigation.
So, what are your plans for the future here when you're being stonewalled? You're obviously, which I think is a good thing to pursue, asking the FBI to get involved, which I think is a good idea, but they haven't responded to you.
We want to go to OSA, AUSA. We want them to
Yes.
take up the case because if we are not interested in a civil suit, we want a criminal lawsuit. If we want criminal lawsuit, then the state has to take it up. Medical examiner is blocking it, so state will not take it up. We can appeal, we can fight in one direction, we are going to fight in that direction, we're going to go to court, sue OCME, that's one direction. At the same time, we'll go to OSA, will because he's a whistleblower. Federal
Yes.
investigation is possible. Many attorneys advised us against it, and they have advised Sam Altman he can't get federal support, but we're just quiet. We know how to handle it. We have a top attorney for whistleblower protection, top attorney in the state to work with us. We're just waiting for certain steps to be done before that. Once those are done, we can trigger federal investigation and criminal charges will be filed by federal authorities.
And how did you find your whistleblower attorney?
My husband found it online, and then we talked to few people. And then when we talked to him, we were very convinced they're good. And now we've hired another attorney. We need to talk to him at 4 o'clock, I think. Yeah. So he is going to bring in about 7, 8 investigators. They have
Good.
plans to sue in federal court. My take on that is let's get the investigation done. But we want criminal charges. We want people to be life sentenced. Whoever ordered this murder, whoever murdered him has to get that sentence.
Hmm.
That's what we want,
I don't blame you. And he deserves justice.
right? How can his soul be at peace?
Exactly. He deserves justice.
I feel my son so disturbed. At times, I feel his pain. I feel his trauma. 2 weeks or a month, I couldn't step out of the house because he died in fear, right? So I
Yeah.
felt so scared to go out of the house. I wouldn't step out of the house. I felt helpless, scared. Slowly, I mustered courage.
I admire your strength.
He gave us, we are fight. We love him so much, right? That love gives us the courage and strength.
And I can sense what a wonderful man he was. And I'm so sorry for your loss. I mean, I can't even imagine.
Our life has stopped. We don't see
Yes,
where our life has stopped on that day. I can't even remember 2025. It's always in 2024 for me. It feels like my life stopped there. This is not our life. We're not leading our life. Both of us is change for us. Our
I
world,
imagine.
our world is gone. He's our only child. He's our world, right? Our world
I,
has changed completely. We're
yes,
diverting ourselves towards the cause. I was just talking to AI safety experts. We are joining Stop AI, Pause AI movements to stand against the harm by AGI. So we are able to withstand our loss by fighting for a cause towards humanity, the cause that mattered to our son the most. We're holding on to that so we can find a means to live, reason to live.
he sounds like a wonderful young man. I wish I'd have had the opportunity to meet him, and a brave
Very.
whistleblower full of integrity. And he was good looking.
Thank you.
Yes. So I'm just curious, you never got the pictures? Or did you get some pictures
From where?
of the
Crimes.
scene? Yeah.
Nothing. They haven't released anything to us except in the death certificate they mention gunshot wound. That's the only thing we have. Nothing other than that. We have the list of evidence they picked up. We have the death certificate. Other than that, whatsoever, no communication. It's been 2 months, more than 2 months.
That's really unusual. And
Exactly.
on the death certificate, does it say suicide or is it open?
It says self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Self-inflicted gunshot wound. In the center of the forehead, pointing down.
Yes. How can someone shoot themselves like that?
That's highly unusual. And he had damage on the side. You said there was wounds on the side of his head
Yes.
that look like
But
blunt instrument, or what did they look like?
it looked like an assault.
And
That's
did
what
he
the
have,
autopsy report says. It's from
and
an assault or a fall. It, The
Ah,
bathroom is so small, and right, he just fell down in the outside. He was lying on his back. There's no question of fall there, so it should be an assault.
right. And it was on the side of his head, though, not on the back of his head?
Yeah, left side back, left side back.
Ah, I admire you for honoring him and continuing his fight. Um, to people who are listening, what kind of advice, or can you tell me what you're involved in that they could maybe help you?
A first call for them is the news media, these news agencies. None of them give you the right information. Please stand up for a true voice. They all have been bought. None of the news media actually relay anything more than these tech CEOs or the great politicians. It's all for the rich. If you really want to survive, raise your voice against the media. Stop watching CNN, stop watching all of these. Start going on the open platform like X. We are grateful for Elon Musk for providing a platform like X. We hope he buys one or two news channels. He's capable. So there is free communication of what's going on. Every day we hear against in CNN against the president, against what's going on. We don't want a leftist view of CNN, right? We want an unbiased version. New York Times also.
So you are on Twitter. If people want to reach you, should they reach you on Twitter, or do you have another type of communication you'd prefer?
I'm reachable by Twitter. I respond by Twitter. And they find my email address also on Twitter and they send me emails as well.
And what is your Twitter handle?
Mine is RAO Rao Poornima, Poornima.
Excellent. And you don't have any problem with people contacting you if they have information or just want to talk to you?
We filter because there are a lot of people who want to get information and pass on to Sam Altman. So we filter people. Even the reporters, we become used to seeing which reporter really want to report, which one want to take information and give it to them. So we pick and choose whom we talk to.
Good, good. I have to tell you, I honor you as a mother who has courage and bravery and is honoring her son, who is honoring her son.
Course. Not a moment we blame him. He's not a victim. We celebrate him.
And he
What?
was a whistleblower, a hero, and he will always be a hero.
Yes. We had his memorial service. We were supposed to have his wedding reception, but we did that. We did that with a lot of interest. We did everything we had to because we're celebrating his life. In a short time, he achieved a lot. He stood for a cause, and he's a hero. He's a martyr.
Yes, he is. And that means something.
There's something wrong in this country.
Mhm. Yes,
There's
there
something
is.
really wrong. That's what I want to tell the viewers. You don't want to wait till it happens in your family. Please support us so you can support your own children. You don't have to wait till something goes wrong. Like that's how we were. Now that we have learned our lesson, we are alerting that please support this cause. Please join.
Poornima, yes, yes. Finish your statement. I'm sorry. Please join.
Please join us in this fight against corruption. Please join us in fight for justice for Suchir. He's a beautiful young man. He deserves justice. He doesn't want to be disrespected that he committed suicide. He doesn't deserve it.
No, he's a hero.
He
He doesn't
deserves.
deserve it. That's right. He's a hero. Poornima, do you have any closing thoughts? My heart goes out to you, and it's so unfair. I just it breaks my heart. And he's not the first whistleblower that has had something terrible happen to him. He is not the only one.
Let him be the last one. That's my call. Let him be the last one. Let's not lose more people for whistleblowing. Let's bring a protection. Let's bring a law that anyone who goes as a custodian witness need to be protected. Anyone who's a whistleblower, their life cannot be risked like this. Let's stop it here.
Wonderful words, Poornima. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for hosting me. Thank you for letting me share my voice to the audience. I hope it reaches the right people.
I do too. You're a wonderful woman who had a wonderful son who's a hero. Thank you, Poornima. Thank you for listening, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to read more whistleblower stories, go to www.whistleblowersblog.org. Music by Rachel Kilgore. Editing and booking by Anissa Sheikh and Victoria Thompson. And a special thanks to our sponsors, Whistleblower Network News.
Growing up, I think you'll find that it's just as hard to stand up tall as it was when you were small. The truth is hard to say.